Welcome back. Okay, so we're going to talk about customer communications. You need to give customers what they want, not what you think they want. Okay? John John Elan said this. You need to give customers what they want, not what you think they want. Many of us find ourselves sitting on this table, as we say in Nigeria. This table has to be broken because sometimes we do have an understanding of what we think our customers need because we've been in their shoes before. But sometimes when you get in conversation with them, you become more educated to understand, okay, I didn't see from this angle. I might have been in a similar situation, but I didn't face this particular thing. But you're facing it. And so I'm getting educated. You want to give them what they need, what they say they need, and not what you think they need. All right. Communication is never one way. And what your customers communicate with you is just as important as what you communicate with them, if not even more so important. You need to listen to and value the communication from your customers because they will provide valuable information that can guide your company to success, guide your business to success. And when your customers communicate, you have to respond because you want them to know that you're hearing them, that you listened. Whether it is, on a group level or on an individual level, you want to make sure that you are listening to them and fulfilling their needs. And sometimes this may require services and changes in your services. This may require changes in your company. And I was talking with my client recently and I said that because this happened to me too. When I was getting set up, I had all of these pain points that my services were already designed to solve. But then as I got in conversation with more women, I started to understand, oh my God, there's so much more pain points. And these ones are even more, what do you call that word? I was going to say conversant, but that's not the word. They're even more prevalent than the ones that I set up my service to serve. And so, I had to go back to the drawing board. And I got to tell you, I'm still always constantly going back to the drawing board. And I said this before because their needs are constantly changing. Their needs are constantly changing. Their pain points are constantly changing. The desires are constantly elevating. So you can't keep your service in one place. You cannot, because then at the time that it stops actually solving the problems that they have, they're going to go look for somebody who can solve that problem. So you have to stay abreast, meaning constant communication with your customers, with your clients, and a willingness and flexibility to make changes in your company or your business or your service where required. Wherever required, make those changes. Give your customers a voice. Most customers will not call your CEOs or your managers, especially if you're an employee, to provide company information. No, they would probably be ignored if they did, right? They would probably be ignored if they did. The customers need to feel like they have a voice in your business, especially if you have a team and you're the head and they cannot really get to you. They need to feel that they matter. They need to feel like they have somebody within who listens to them. And if they do not have a voice, they are likely to take their business elsewhere. And the voice provides customers with an outlet for communication as well. So that feedback system is important. It gives them a sense of security. And the methods of communication can include, like, you use surveys. We've talked about surveys. We've talked about, just building out assessments, focus groups, interviews, rewards programs, right? Providing customers with a voice and encouraging them to communicate may reveal problems that you do not recognize from the inside. But they are on the outside looking in, and they can educate you. And addressing these problems can increase customer retention. Most of the time it does. And it does improve the reputation of your brand or your service, right? One thing that I always say is never ever forget that it is not about you. It has never ever been about you. It's about them. It's about the people that you serve. And when we're talking at our Purpose Clarity workshop, this is how you know that you're serving purpose. Because it is hinged on the other person and not on you. And every time you take a look at whatever service you're offering, if it dances around you, if it's more about you and, oh, how can I make profit? If it's more about how can he make me look good? How can he give me recognition? How can he give me authority? If it's more about you, then you've not yet started to live in purpose. Until the focus is really truly the end user, the end customer, the client, until that's the focus, you haven't really started to live a purposeful life and run a purpose-driven business. All communication with customers should be considered from the perspective of the customer. It's about them. Therefore, when you advertise, you should focus on how your customers or your clients' lives or businesses will be improved by your service or your product or your company. You need to connect with them to reflect what they value. Also in your marketing and in your advertising, you need to take a moment to consider their feedback. You need to go out of your way to engage your target audience. And these days, social media has made it easy. Even for big conglomerates and Fortune 500 companies, you want to utilize all of this. Social media is huge. LinkedIn is huge for this. And if you have other media that you use that allows you to have this direct relationship where you could get feedback from them, yeah, use it. Example, if your audience is made up of busy working parents, show them how your service will help them save their time. And then communicate with them on how it is actually helping them save their time. And then in those communications, they could give you feedback on some loopholes and how you can improve the service for them. And if you could do this and you're constantly improving their lives, you will constantly earn clients because they will be your advocates as well. They'll go fight for you in the marketplace, in the streets. That like, go to this person. Their service is everything. The way that they care about you is everything. And at that point, it will really never be about price. They're never really going to care much about it. Right? Every interaction counts. When you manage the customer relationship correctly, you will retain customers and attract new ones to your business. So if you have a team, train them on customer service. It's so important. Every interaction that your team will have with a customer is a marketing opportunity to promote your company or your brand or your service. And if an interaction does not go well, you risk losing the customer and damaging your brand, but also losing other customers that could have come to you. Because then instead of them being advocates for you, they will become the ones that start warning other people not to use your service. So you're not only losing them, you're also losing potential clients. Customers should always be treated with respect and courtesy at every opportunity. And I know that there are some overbearing customers and it can be hard. That's why it's very good to do your due diligence from the beginning. One thing that I always tell my clients is not everybody that can pay you has to be your client. Some clients are going to end up becoming serious nightmares for you. And many times you can read the signs. From the first meetings that you have and the conversations that you have, you could see the signs. And I know that the business needs money. I know that the service, you got to pay for it. But at the same time, you don't want to take on clients that will become a nightmare for your business. And there's lots and lots of due diligence that you could do to prevent that from happening. Through those face to face encounters, phone conversations, virtual meetings, right? Okay, but that's not the focus of this. We're still talking about why it's important for you to make every interaction count for your client. Don't waste an opportunity to endear your clients to your brand. Don't waste an opportunity to do that. And when it gets to the point of you having those interactions, make sure that you're honest with them. I come back to honesty. And I talked about it in the beginning of this course, how it's difficult, especially in today's marketing landscape, to be honest. But you have to be as a service provider. You just have to be, because it could come back and bite you in the butt. And that brand that you think you've been building, that reputation you think that you've been elevating, you can make it crash in a minute. Right? So be honest. Customer communications usually lead to questions that need to be answered. How you handle and answer these questions will have a lasting impact on your relationship with them. It is important to communicate honestly and effectively when you're answering your customers' questions. And I've talked about many tips and things that you could do to make sure that you really are hearing them and giving them the right answers. Listening is one of them. But do not treat all clients the same. Do not treat all complaints the same. Do not treat all feedback the same. Listen to what the customer is saying before you provide an answer. Because sometimes we can have scripts that we give our teams and be like, oh, if this kind of question pops up, this is the answer to give them. And then you just have this generalized way of responding. No, 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 no. Especially when you have one-on-one feedback. Or you can see feedback that has come through a survey. Each customer's complaints should be answered based on the content of their exact complaint. Another way to make sure that you answer honestly is be respectful. Everybody loves respect. Everybody deserves respect. So communicate respectfully with the customer even when the question is annoying or even when their feedback is wrong or disrespectful. Answer them honestly, please. I say that again. Because lying will only create distrust. Only create distrust. And many times, customers can recognize standard answers. They know when this is a script that you're telling them. And this can make them feel like, oh, they are not even listening to me. And once they have a slight opportunity, they'll go to your competitor. They'll go to somebody who's going to listen to them. So don't play with this. It's very important. All right. So see you in the next lesson.